Kenyan Martha Karua says now Kenya has got a dictator. Dictator Ruto in the image of dictator General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now East Africa has two dictators, super dictators. The one who connives and the connivee. This is all about the abduction of Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye in Kenya. How it happened. Martha Karua says she's the one who invited Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye in Kenya on her book launch. But the day came, Besigye never appeared to find out the guy who was abducted.
But Duncan Kaimba leads us into our live interview with the NARC Kenya party leader Martha Karua, who's joining us virtually. Thank you for speaking to us, Madam Karua, on NTV tonight. And in light of the situation with Besigye, what, from where you sit, what exactly happened?
I think I can only give the reports as received from the family. Firstly, I had invited the Honorable Kizza Besigye to my book launch on the 17th afternoon, that is Sunday. I had indication that he would arrive on Saturday and he would be available to attend and make a few remarks. He was no show. Sunday passed. Monday, we just thought, one can get, can be unable to come for various reasons. Then on Monday, there was concerns about his whereabouts.
Yeah. She said she invited him to attend a book launch on 17th this month, October. November. Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye arrived in Kenya, booked a hotel. Then the guy disappeared mysteriously. Now, let's first know this. Between Martha Karua's conversation and the Dr. Kano Kizza Besigye's conversation, there is a linked message. Who linked the message? Who linked this one? Because what you must ask yourself, how did General Museveni get to know about this invitation that Dr. Kizza Besigye is invited in Kenya? Who spread the information? We're going to know what it is.
Family members. And yesterday evening, they confirmed that indeed he was missing and that he had gone for a meeting. He had booked at Waridi Paradise Hotel in Kilimani, had taken a taxi to Riverside Apartments. The apartment number is given in the statement we issued today. And he had gone into the meeting, leaving the taxi man at the basement of the building around 4:30. And the taxi person waited until 4 a.m. on Sunday. And when Besigye did not respond to the many text messages, that's when he left. So by yesterday evening, his family contacted me and said he's missing. And after discussions and inquiries, we suspected that he was abducted while at the Riverside Apartments by security agents from his home country, aided, facilitated by Kenyan authorities.
You hear that? You hear that? Aided and facilitated by Kenyan authorities. Besigye was abducted by Ugandan soldiers, army men, aided, facilitated by Kenyan authorities. Now, Ruto and his government, they were denying this. that we are not the one. We never connived with General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni to abduct Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye. Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine asked, how could this happen without the aid of Ruto? It couldn't have happened without the aid of Ruto, meaning Ruto is in the game, connived with General Museveni. The same question other leaders are asking. How can somebody be abducted in a foreign country and be transported back to a country of his origin without the knowledge of that country where he was? Ruto connived with General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Now the facts are coming out. Hear this.
Remember, there is no way you can take an abductee either by air or by road without going through immigration. That's why I say confidently, aided and abetted by the Kenyan authorities. Today, we have reports that he was taken before a court-martial in Uganda, just like we were suspecting. Allegations that he was found with 2 pistols here in Kenya, with which he was going to attack military installations. I wonder whether they are enough even to attack a well-guarded house, leave alone a military installation. You'd expect they would be talking of a cache of arms. How did he come with 2 pistols on board a commercial plane? Why would they not arrest him if he has 2 illegal pistols in Uganda and on Ugandan soil?
What an observation. These are the questions I've been asking. And these are the questions General Kahindo Tafile asked. He asked the officials at the Uganda airport, any one of you did saw those guns, Dr. Kizza Besigye? They said they never saw him with any single gun, a bullet or a bullet shell. Even again, he asked the Kenyan airport authorities, Besigye came in with those guns? They said no. Now, where the guns came from? Where the guns came from? Hiyo na circus. General Museveni is playing his old tactic games. But will he win this time? Let's see.
These are excuses dictators give. And it looks like we have 2 dictators.
She said, excuses dictators give. She's saying we have 2 dictators. Who and who?
Side by side. William Ruto and one Yoweri Museveni. I'm fearing. Everybody now fears going across the border. I wouldn't want to go to Uganda now, lest Ruto follows me there to abduct me, the way Besigye was followed by Museveni's people.
What an image, painted well. This is what Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert Bobi Wine always say. Tubalabi say, let's open them. Let's unveil them to the world to know the real image of General Kaguta Museveni. Now, Kenyans have understood who Museveni is to their country. They have accepted now that Museveni is a dictator. The guy was, no, me, I'm a judge. I'm a Sabarwani. I'm a fighter. I'm a friend of Kenya. Now, everybody knows General Museveni is a dictator. And they are also putting it on their leader. Their president, William Samoei Ruto, is also a dictator. A dictator of 3 years? Imagine. Someone becoming a dictator on the first term in the office. Oh, so amazing. Amusing, yo. Oh. Now we have 2 dictators. Samoei Ruto in Kenya. He can abduct you when you go to Uganda. Now, people fear to come to Uganda because they might be abducted. The same way General Museveni abducted Dr. Kizza Besigye in Kenya. because there are two dictators at play. Let's go.
What will visitors coming to Kenya feel, remembering that Turkish refugees, people legitimately registered as refugees, were kidnapped, abducted, and forcibly taken back to Turkey against the non-refoulement principle?
Okay.
What is happening in Kenya, abduction of nationals and our own nationals and foreign nationals, is actually against our own laws, the East African Community Constitutive Act, the rule of law principle, and against international law, which includes the Maputo Protocol. It is a shame that Kenya, under the 2010 Constitution, is behaving like a country without a constitution. It appears William Ruto has suspended the constitution altogether.
Okay, Madam Karua, you said that the tax...
Yo. William Ruto suspended the constitution. He's not following constitution. Again in Uganda, Johnson does not follow the constitution. He does what he wants to do. He always breaks, opens the constitution, pulls out some articles, put why he benefits him, and that's Ruto what again is doing in Kenya. Yo. Africa, East Africa, where are we going? Where are we going? Where will I be safe? Where? I can't be safe home. I can't be safe even in another African country. Now, where are we going? Where are we going? Where will I be safe? That's now African nationals have decided to leave, to flee Africa, to Europe or Asia, America, anywhere, because Africa is not safe for them. But who is going to save us? We must be we, Africans, to save ourselves, nobody else. My friends, my people in Kenya, Martha Karua is saying there is abduction of Kenyan nationals. Ever since Samuel Ruto became president of Kenya, and this the Gen Z uprising, the guy started abducting Kenyans, killing them. People are missing. That tactic is Museveni's tactic. Ugandans were abducted, are being abducted. Ugandans are missing. Nobody knows where they are. Just because of supporting change. Chagulanyi Center, Robert Bobi Wine. Ugandans are being killed, are missing. No one knows where they are. And that is a Museveni tactic. So, William Ruto is being advised by General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni that do so to stay in power. Meaning he is a dictator, and General Museveni is also a dictator. A dictator copying from a dictator. Martha Karua said, we have two dictators, William Ruto and General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. Let's hear.
Guy, from what you were told, waited until about 4 a.m. and that's when he left. Have you been able to, get a hold of the taxi guy to just get his own narration of the happenings?
I didn't consider it necessary. I am not a police investigator. If you look at my Twitter handle, I took to Twitter with the statement we made and asked the DCI to take that statement as my formal complaint as a person who had invited Dr. Besigye of a missing person. So I've reported to the DCI, to the IG on Twitter. I've attached William Ruto, Yoweri Museveni. Why would I want to talk to a taximan? They are paid investigators here in the country, security agencies.
Okay.
And now that we know he was spirited to Uganda, how did Uganda get him from Kenya without extradition?
That's a question. That's a question, a liable question. How did Uganda get into Kenya and they abducted somebody back to Uganda without extradition. Every day Museveni is making himself naked. The world is now open. The world is now observing. The world is now knowing the real Museveni, who is. We've been here for years, and General Museveni has been hiding his true character. Now, ever since Chagulanyi Ssentamu Bobani came in, the guy is being opened, being unveiled, being... We now know who General Museveni is. He's a dictator.
Because that is what happens when you are following somebody from another country.
Okay, and Kizza Besigye is a person who has, been in the crosshairs of Uganda's president, etc. So, as far as you know, he did not have his own security detail?
Well, we travel, I know that we all travel light. We are not a government where you select security agencies to walk around with you. Even last time I visited them in the family in their residence in the outskirts of Kampala, the only security I saw around is Museveni's police blockading the home. So Dr. Kizza Besigye, as a civilian, has the right to travel just by himself and is a regular visitor to Kenya.
Oh, okay. And just in closing, Madam Karua, what are the global optics of having these kind of situations happen in Kenya? As you have mentioned, and as my colleague Duncan Khaemba said in his story, we've had the case of the Turkish nationals. We've seen there's a gentleman from Pakistan who was killed here, and now we are seeing Besigye among others. What are the global optics on this, and what specific international laws have been broken from where you sit?
Global optics is Kenya has descended into lawlessness, and that William Ruto's regime is leading in that lawlessness. Murdering, abducting, arbitrarily arresting its own citizens, and now extending those atrocities to foreign nationals on Kenyan soil, including refugees. And that is a violation not only of the 2010 Constitution, of the East African Treaty, the rule of law principle, of the Maputo Protocol, the African Protocol on Human and People's Rights, and international human rights and refugee law. When you look at the totality of it, people abducted. Nobody can say that Kenya follows the rule of law. When a foreign national, a foreign government is following its own national, they request for extradition. That's what the United States did when they needed to try Kenyans who are here. That is what they did. And I don't remember which government also wanted Gishuru and Okemo. And it had to go through the courts. Why are we descending to this type of lawlessness? But anyway, it's not so surprising. William Ruto opposed the 2010 Constitution. He considered it as an inconvenience. He appears completely oblivious of the fact that constitutions are principally made to limit exercise of power by those in authority, namely governments.
Okay.
So Kenya, to the international arena, is a lawless state.
Okay.
And a dictatorship.
Thank you very much for your views on this matter that is of great concern, not just nationally, but even regionally. And Madam Karua, just on a separate note today.
Now Kenya is a lawless country. They have admitted it, yo. Kenya is a lawless country. The guy is not following the constitution. She says, William Ruto is against the 2010 constitution, Kenyan constitution. Now, he has resorted to lawlessness, killing, abducting, and that is Museveni's way of doing things. Now, let's look here. I just pity Mr. Samuel Ruto, president. What he is doing is for the dictator. And General Museveni, for him, he might be safe because he is in his early stages, last days, last years of dictatorship. General Museveni might be safe, might not face the consequences of his dictatorship. But Samuel William Ruto in Kenya, even if he is voted again into office for another 4 years, I don't think he will go up to 15 years. And after those years, Samuel Ruto will be accountable for these actions he is doing today. Maybe he will leave Kenya to Uganda, but I don't know whether in these 5, 6, 10 years, 15 years, Museveni will be still the president of Uganda. I don't think so. So I don't know where he will be. He might be digging his own grave. He might be digging his own, opening his own cell. That one day, after me being president, they'll arrest me, I'll serve, I'll be accountable for the death, for the abductions, and that's treason. I don't know. Imagine being a president today, but after being a president, you will live a miserable life as if you were not president. And the brother, the tax man, the mama mboga will be very happy than you. Imagine. Now, what type of leadership is that one? You want to exercise power that you God, you call yourself God, waita katonda. But after leaving power, you useless boy.